Hello, welcome to Power and Pounders Drum Magazine. I am your host, Koran Latigra. It is Wednesday, September the 8th. And wow, I can't believe it's September and school's back in summer session, I should say. Seemed like we were just in June. I was singing the Alice Cooper song, School is Out for Summer, but now school is back in. So I hope everyone had a great summer. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. Hit the subscribe button. Much appreciated. You can also listen to Power and Pounders podcast on Anchor FM, Spotify, and Apple Podcast. Well, today, my guest today, I tell you, it's been a pleasure watching her drum videos. She's well known for her drum covers on YouTube. She plays a lot of different genres of music, styles, and everything. She's also the drummer for the rock band Plush. And I will put their website and stuff in the description. You guys can check out their video called Hate. And it's a great song, great video. And I want to welcome Brooke Colucci to Power and Pounders. How you doing, Brooke?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good. Now what you guys don't know, how many times I had to practice that name before I butchered because I had all different kind of sayings for her name. So, but she's better known as Brooke C, on her YouTube channel and social media outlets. So I just want to decide, we talked before. So how you guys doing with COVID? How's everybody doing? How's the band and so forth?
Everything's going really great so far. None of us have gotten COVID from traveling or anything. I mean, we're all vaccinated and stuff. Mm-hmm. Although I was saying to you before we started recording, we did have a COVID scare. Mm-hmm. A couple weeks ago, I got really sick. And I mean, luckily we all got tested though, and everybody came back negative. So we're all doing good with that. Awesome. But yeah, it's just been a great time though, traveling and playing gigs and everything.
Yeah. No, I was looking at your tour schedule. Actually, you guys are preparing in a couple more weeks to do some shows, and you got some big shows coming up in, I think, October, Evanescence and Hellstorm and Seether and so forth. So wow, looking forward to seeing how that's gonna work out and everything. So, but I want to kind of go back to how it all started for you. What was it about the drums that just said, this is what I wanted to do compared to any other instrument? I mean, you probably could have played violin, guitar, piano, which you may probably do play those, but it was something. What was it about the drums that this is it? This is what I wanted to do. Did you take your parents' pots and pans and start banging on them like every other drummer did, and like my mom, give me my pots back, So how did it all start with you with that?
So for me, it actually didn't start out on pots and pans.
Okay, that's a good thing.
It all started, I went to a friend's birthday party when I was about 6 years old, and it was rock and roll themed. So they had musicians come with different instruments like drum set and guitar. So each kid at the party got to try out the instruments. And so when I sat behind the kit, I just fell in love.
Wow.
And my friend's birthday was early December, so I went home later that day asking for a drum set for Christmas. Mm-hmm. So, and then that Christmas, my parents, they got me a little mini first act drum kit and signed me up for lessons.
Now, do you know was it a brand name kit, or was it like one of these store catalog kits? Because I know when I first started playing, at the time, JCPenney had a drum set in their catalog. I mean, we're talking a while, but JCPenney, you said, and I remember we ordered the JCPenney drum kit, and it was pretty cool. It was Sparkle, so it was a non-brand name. So, but yeah, what was it, a brand name drum kit that you got, or?
The name of the brand was First Act, and it's
Okay.
literally just like a bass drum, like a little mini bass drum, a little mini drum with like a couple snares on it, and then one tom with one cymbal.
Okay. So it was almost
So
like a toy kit in a
yeah, it
sense.
was like a toy kit,
Okay.
and they got that for me because I was a little kid, and
Yeah.
they're not gonna go out and spend money on like a
Yeah.
really nice kit if they don't know if I'm actually gonna be into it or not.
Exactly. How old were you when you got that little baby kit?
I
Like
think I was about
three,
like
five?
I think I was 6.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So
Was it for Christmas or it was
yeah,
birthday? Okay.
it
And
was
you
for
probably
Christmas.
you probably tore it up the first day you got it, huh? With the drum heads and they probably just tore it up the first day from playing it. So so okay, you got your first drum kit and you started just kind of banging around on things or making some rhythm and how did that happen? Did your parents go, oh wow, she's got some little talent there?
I mean, obviously, like the first couple days, weeks, or month was
Yeah,
just noise,
yeah,
wasn't anything like musical.
yeah.
But my parents, they did sign me up for lessons like really soon after that. So once I started to kind of take lessons and everything, they kind of started to hear more like like an actual rhythm and
Okay.
everything,
Yeah,
not just noise.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but yeah.
What did you take lessons? Was it a music school or was it a private instructor?
I took lessons at this music store like down the street
Oh,
from my house,
okay.
and it was private lessons.
Okay. Okay. So was it like a school of rock or anything or it?
It wasn't, but I actually did end up going to School of Rock though when I was in middle school.
Okay,
Um,
really?
yeah, I did.
That's cool. Yeah,
Um,
because I teach at School of Rock in Huntington Beach here.
oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
the one in Huntington Beach, California. Yeah, I teach there, and yeah, it's a great school. It's I've heard a lot of musicians have come out of that school. Not particularly that one, but the School of Rock in general. I mean, there's School of Rocks all over the country and even the world. There's some internationally.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, I teach at the School of Rock there. So you started doing lessons, you started learning the basic rudiments and so forth. And when you were still in elementary school, correct?
Yes, I was in elementary school.
Okay. So now, when did you know that okay, you started getting rhythm? Your parents kind of they liked it. They liked what they were hearing. The neighbors wasn't complaining. you know, because you were making some sense. You were actually making sense on the drums. You were actually playing rhythm. And that's what I try to tell my students. Make sure you play rhythm because the neighbors are going to complain when it's just, and you're not making sense in rhythm. So make sure you sound good when you practice. But so they won't call the police on you or anything. But so you started playing that and you started getting more developed in drums. Were you started to play in little bands at school or like talent competitions or anything?
So when I was in like 3rd grade, that's
Mhm.
when they kind of assign out instruments and everything for like concert band. So I did play percussion in my school's concert band up until my junior year of high school. And I did do jazz band in middle school
Okay.
for a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, but it didn't last too long. I wasn't
Yeah.
really, not that I don't like jazz, but I just wasn't into doing it with people from my school.
Yeah.
So so that was really short-lived. And then I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
like, no, I think I'm just gonna practice by myself.
Yeah. It's like I don't want to play with this person because whatever she did to me in school or whatever, she, this guy pulled my hair or something stupid. So, okay, so now you're in elementary, you're playing, you continue to take lessons now.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm sure by that time you started getting into a more real drum set.
Yes. So I got my little first act kit when I was
Yeah.
like 6 years old for Christmas. And then I believe it was the next Christmas. So when I was 7,
Okay.
I got like an actual drum kit.
Mhm.
It was like this purple sparkly Ludwig kit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it had just, kick drum, snare, and then 3 toms.
Mhm.
And then I just had like 2 cymbals and hi-hats.
Yeah.
So I got that, and that was like my first actual drum kit.
Mhm.
And so I played on that for quite a few years. And that was my like learning kit. I
Yeah.
learned a lot when I was playing with that kit.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure as the time went on, you started getting into more well-known brand name kits, and I'm sure you endorsed. You have an endorsement by your current drum kit.
I do not have a drum endorsement currently, no.
Not yet, but I'm sure it's coming. I'm sure it's coming. I don't know why not, but I'm sure it's coming. So once you started, you're gradually progressing. Now, did you go to your first concert and say you saw the drummer and say, this is what I want to do for a career? You want to pursue it? How did that all happen? Did you go to a
Yeah.
concert or anything?
So I went to my first concert when I was, I believe, 12.
Okay.
And it was a Seven Dust and Godsmack concert.
Okay, yeah. I like Seven Dust.
And what is it? And prior to this, like when I first had started learning to play the drums, my dad would always show me Godsmack's Batalla de los Tambores, the drum battle that they do live.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved that. That was like, I watched it at least once a day. So when I finally went and I saw them live, it was just such an amazing moment for me. I was in awe. And that's kind of definitely like one of the moments that I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do.
That's what you want to do. Yeah, yeah. Looking at you, just probably had binoculars looking at the drummer, for the past hour or whatever, So you went to your first concert. So you probably couldn't sleep when you came home after that.
Yeah, it was definitely hard for me to go to bed that night. I was too hyped up.
Yeah, I bet. A concert like that, So once you started getting more serious and you found out, okay, this is what, because 11, 12, that's usually the age, a lot of kids start wanting to take it a little bit more to a more serious level. I think that's pretty much where I started at 11 and just kind of like, this is what I wanted to do. And so, once you get to that point, now, did you play any other instruments in that time period? Like you played piano or took up the guitar?
No, I didn't. I really just stuck to drums for all those years. Later on, like when I was in middle school, I started to pick up bass and everything, and now I can play like a little bit of bass.
Okay.
But in the beginning, I just stuck to only drums.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you form bands as you were going along, trying to, people from the neighborhood that played, you wanted to try to get a band going and they wasn't interested? Or how did you have that experience growing up after you found out that playing drums is what I want to do? I just need other people.
Yeah. So I don't think I actually started to play in a band until I was 16.
Okay.
and what is it? I was in a band with a couple of people that I met at a local venue, and they were playing that night. And then the next day I messaged them on Instagram. I was just like, hey, like, you know, you sounded great last night.
Mm-hmm.
And we just kind of got together and we jammed for a little bit. And I was with that band for, I think, almost a year. You know, we played like a couple local shows and everything. And then we just kind of decided to go our own ways. Like it just wasn't working out, but it's all good.
Yeah, yeah. So now you start doing that. And when did your interest in playing the covers that you do play, when did that come about after the band thing didn't work out? Did you go immediately to start playing covers and learning covers? Or did you try to form another band?
So I was already doing like covers and everything when I was in that band.
Okay.
I had started doing covers when I was, I believe, like 12 or 13.
Okay.
That's when I started to post them online, at least. Like I mean, I was doing covers before that and, you know, playing a lot of songs, but that's when I really started like posting them.
Yeah. Wow. Now, who are some of your influences, drummer wise and band wise?
So obviously Shannon Larkin from Godsmack and Morgan Rose from Seven Dust are two big influences for me, but also Danny Carey from Tool, John Bonham, and I would say Neil Peart. Those are like my top five.
Top five, yeah, because you know I was watching some of your Tool drum covers, and Tool's got some interesting drum parts. I mean, they're pretty, you know, and you even played some Rush. I was, you know, watching some covers, and I'll tell you, when you play drum covers, you got to play it. You know, you have to play it beat for beat because every drummer probably knows that song, and they probably going, you know, judging you. Oh, she missed that. You know, well, you can just say, shut up and talk to the stick. You know, it's like, be quiet, you know. But I know, how much preparation does it take for you to learn those songs that you do play? Because I know playing those type of songs, especially the real intricate ones, the ones that have different parts and signature, what's your preparation behind that?
So each song, it's really different depending on song to song. So I would say like a Tool song or a Rush song, something that's definitely more drum heavy. It can take me anywhere from like 3 weeks to 4 weeks to learn it and then practice it to where it's really comfortable for me to play.
Yeah.
But you know, some songs, like the latest cover I put up on my YouTube was the Chevelle cover.
Yeah, I
and
saw that.
That one only took me, I believe, like 3 days to learn and practice.
Okay.
So it's really different from song to song.
Yeah. Now I noticed you hadn't had any Dream Theater up there yet. Is that a challenge? The Dream Theater stuff? Is that next?
I'm somebody, like, I have huge respect for them and everything. I think that they're all great musicians. I just never really got into Dream Theater as much as like Tool and stuff. But I do think that they have great music though.
Yeah. They're a really great band. Because I'm thinking, you know, she's got to put some Dream Theater, at least one song, you know, at least one easy one, you know, maybe Pull Me Under or something, you know, that would probably be the easiest one, you know, compared to all the other ones. So I could see you playing Pull Me Under. So maybe that could be something, because you play the Metallica stuff really well. I mean,
thank you.
You know, yeah. Now I noticed on some of your videos, you went like you had a double bass kit for a while, and then you cut it down to a single double pedal kit. What was the reason? You had more toms on some of your earlier videos, and so now what you just kind of got tired of the double bass and went to the single?
Yeah, so what is it? Around that time, that's when I was like really looking to, start playing out and everything. So, lugging around two bass drums is kind of a lot. And also too, with the toms, it's, more drums that you have to like tune and everything like that. So just to make it easier on myself, for taking my kit, traveling and touring, I just sized it down.
Yeah, yeah. Well, now I'm assuming with this tour coming up, you will probably have a drum tech, maybe, or are you gonna do it all yourself?
So all the gigs that we've played so far, I've just been doing it myself. But I am hoping to have I will definitely have a drum tech for these tours coming up.
Yeah, yeah. I would reckon so. 'Cause that's a lot, you having to load it. I mean, yeah, when you're doing local stuff, I get it, but when you're doing, major tours like what you guys are gonna be doing, you definitely need to have a drum tech. So now, moving fast forward, now that you've established your covers and so forth, how did Plush come about, and where did you meet Mariah? I think is the singer's name.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mariah.
yeah.
So Mariah and she had actually seen some of my covers online, and she was like, "Oh, wow." And she found out that we didn't live too far away.
Mhm.
So her dad got in contact with my dad, and we jammed a couple times, and we were like, this is something that we definitely want to pursue. We want to make a band out of. So I got Ashley because I had met her at School of Rock actually.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
So
when we were looking,
she's a School of Rock grad herself.
yes, she
Okay.
is. So when we were looking for a bass player, I called her up, and then the three of us jammed, and we're like, this is really good. Like this, we click well together.
Mhm.
And then at this time, we had a management. And so our management put out an ad saying that they were looking for a female lead guitar player.
Mhm.
And Bella, she saw that ad because Lizzie Hale had actually shared it.
Okay. Yeah.
So Bella sent in like a video of her playing and a little bio about herself. And yeah, that's how we came to be.
Wow. Now, because I noticed when you guys did when you and Mariah did the Barracuda, the Heart video, that was separate, right? You did your part, and she did the guitar part, and you did the whole virtual playing.
Yeah, so that when we filmed that was like right in the beginning of the pandemic, like we were
Mhm.
only a month in. So we were still kind of nervous to like get together and see people and
Yeah.
everything. So we just decided to do a cover like a split screen kind of thing.
Yeah. 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 I was gonna say because she if you close your eyes, if a person closed their eyes and just listened to that song, they would think it is Heart because she sounds amazing. She's got a great voice, and I don't really get into the whole American Idol, The Voice. I don't really watch those programs that much, but from what I was told that of seeing her in previous interviews, that she was one of the contestants on those shows, and so I was like, wow. So she sounds like, I say, if you close your eyes, you couldn't tell the difference if it was Heart themselves. Now, have you guys heard from Heart? Do they like what you guys did, or?
I believe Mariah has heard from like maybe a couple people on their team,
Mhm.
but not Heart themselves
not
though.
not not the Wilson sisters? I think they're sisters. I'm not sure, but yeah. So you guys haven't heard from the band itself?
No, we
Yeah.
haven't.
Not yet. I'm sure it's probably there. They're probably listening, going, "Wow, so they probably even closing their eyes and going, "She sounds just like me." So So that'll be cool. That'll be great if that happens. So now you guys got you got a single out. Now, how do you guys still doing like virtual rehearsing, or are you guys actually? What's the writing process? You may have a beat, you send it to Mariah or the guitar player, you send it to those guys. What's the writing process like as far as your new stuff? How did the Hate song come about?
So, Hey, Mariah she wrote pretty much all of it. She wrote the riff for it and she wrote the lyrics. She sent me the demo and she was like, here, you can kind of do like whatever you want with drums.
Okay.
So Mariah was definitely the main writer on that song, and actually really a lot of songs on our album. Mariah's great with writing songs and everything.
Yeah.
So Hate was really written by Mariah, and we just, we kind of all, any little ideas any of us had, we would kind of chip in a little bit, but yeah.
Now, did you guys rehearse like in person at a studio, or did you just send tracks to each other and you just piece it all together?
So we did record tracks just because some of us are kind of far away, but before we were going into the studio, we did make it a point to rehearse and everything.
Okay. Now, you guys rehearsing for the tour coming up, or is it just gonna be, we know what we're doing, let's just go? Are you guys rehearsing for that? Is everybody getting physically together and 6 feet or more apart?
Yeah, so we all get together at my house, and since Bella is out of Maine and then Mariah is out of like more upstate New York, about an hour and a half from me, everybody will just stay at my house for a couple days, and then we'll rehearse and everything, make sure everything is sounding good, and then we'll head out for our gigs. That's how it's worked the past couple times.
Now, so now with this coming tour coming up, when does that kick off?
So we have like a mini tour with Mammoth.
Okay.
And that's in October. I believe it starts October 16th. But this tour with Hailstorm and Evanescence, that starts November 5th.
November 5th. Okay. And what's the city?
So our first city is Portland.
Oh, okay. So you guys are coming West Coast.
Yes.
And then trickling down to, I don't think you guys, because I was looking at the tour schedule, the only thing I saw close to California was Vegas. So I don't think you guys are, unless you're adding tours to that, adding cities to that.
Yeah, what is it? We do have a San Diego date on there and a Los Angeles date.
Okay.
I believe.
Because I just saw, maybe I looked at it wrong. I just saw the Vegas. So when is the LA date?
I would have to check. I'm not totally sure exactly. I don't know it off the top of my head.
Yeah. But you guys are opening up for some big bands. I mean, Evanescence, how did you guys go about getting that tour to open up for them and Hailstorm, and how did that happen?
So I believe how it happened is our management knows Will Hunt, the drummer for Evanescence.
Yeah.
And and then Will Hunt brought the idea to Amy, and Amy was like, okay, like I can get behind this.
Yeah.
And she, Amy was really digging us, so she was like, yeah, I would like to have them come on tour with us.
Cool. Did she hear the Hate song?
Yes.
She made that decision. Now, Explain about that song, because I know it's a relationship song, right? I mean, it was written basically relationship wise. Is that true, or how did that
Yeah.
song come about?
So it's hard for me to totally speak on it because I didn't write it. Mariah
Yeah,
wrote it.
yeah,
But what she has said to us is that, it's just about somebody that she was with and that, um, she just hated how much she loved them.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And like she knew that like they weren't any good, but she still loved them.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So that's like the
The
general
thing,
sense of
the
what the
thing,
song's
the
about.
theme of it. Yeah. Well, you could turn it around and say the COVID. I hate COVID. You could, instead of doing a relationship, you can just say that you could throw the COVID in there, and I hate everything about you. This is that's a good song for COVID as well. So, you know, wow.
Yes.
So what's next for you personally? Are you going to be doing any more drum covers pretty soon before you go on tour, or um, you have any songs in mind? Or I don't want to do a spoiler alert or anything.
So I am trying to do some drum covers here and there whenever I'm home. Um, it's been hard just because this is like the longest I'm going to be home for, and I'm going to be home for like 2-ish weeks. So it's hard to get like covers in and everything, but I definitely am still trying to balance out my drum covers and my band stuff. So
Yeah, yeah. Now, when you do your covers, just real quick, is it just rock that you do? Because I did see you play some more R&B beats, some more funk beats, type of beats. What other genres other than rock would you like to play as far as covers? Because you said you're not a big jazz person. So what about funk, R&B? Um, it's not much. Well, I guess with hip hop, is you could probably play drums, create stuff, but it's all computer stuff. But which is actually I want to get to that question. But what's some of your other genres that you like to play outside of rock?
yeah, so I really do like jazz. I just didn't like doing jazz band in school because that
Okay,
just like
okay,
um
okay,
yeah, like I said, I didn't really like the people I was playing with. Um
okay,
but I do like jazz. I
okay.
really do like jazz. I love funk, R&B, soul. I love all that kind of music. But rock has just definitely like been my comfort zone in a way. So I'm just kind of lately I've been trying to work on getting out of my comfort zone and playing more genres and everything. Um, but the one genre I just, or the two genres that I really don't get into when it comes to playing drums is like hip hop and pop music.
Yeah,
Um, I like some pop music, some of it's good, but I just never really took an interest in playing to it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess with hip hop, it's all computer programming in a sense. I mean, you could probably play some good funk beats, and just throw a rapper behind it, or whatever. It'd be like, what the Beastie Boys did, So, but yeah, yeah. So now, um, but you don't know if you're gonna time consuming. You don't know if you're gonna be uploading any more of the covers for right now.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm definitely gonna try to upload as much as I can.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't have a schedule or anything.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna learn this right now, and then if I can record it, I'll record it. But
yeah.
if not, I'll do it the next time I come back home. So
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah. Now, did you ever teach like yourself? Did you um teach drums to kids growing up, or somebody that admires your playing and they want to learn from you? Would you be open to teaching someday?
Yeah, I have never teached, but I have definitely thought about it
Mhm.
and doing lessons and everything. It's just, you know, right now with the band and everything, it's super busy, so um, it would be hard for me to find the time to teach and everything.
Yeah,
But it is definitely something I've thought about and I am definitely interested in.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, not like right now, but in the future, maybe next year sometime, whether it be online instructions or, where you are in person, you know. So um that's great, man. I'm just glad that, we got a chance to talk before you did go on tour and everything. And um my question would be to those that want to pursue music as a career, because the music industry, as you well know, it's good and bad, about it, especially for up and coming musicians and people wanting to enter into. What words of encouragement can you give to those that want to pursue a career in music, no matter what genre? What's your advice that no matter what age people need to know?
I guess my biggest piece of advice for, if you want to get into the music industry, no matter the genre, is like just to be yourself and be different and, um, stay true to who you are. And even if somebody doesn't like what you're doing, that doesn't mean that nobody likes what you're doing. There's always going to be somebody who doesn't like what you're doing. And you just got to focus on the people who do like what you're doing and, stay positive.
Yeah, yeah, and just learn as much as you can in the
Mm-hmm.
process. Yeah, yeah,
Totally.
yeah. Well, it was. Thank you for coming on to Power and Pounders, and everything, and I appreciate you taking the time. And like I say, I know you preparing for your tour in a couple more days and a couple more weeks, I should say. And I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. I really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah, for sure. All right, you've been listening to Brooke Colucci. Hi, I did it.
You got it.
Second time. All right, better known as Brooke C here on Power and Pounders. And we'll try to get this out sometime in the next week or so. You guys can check it out on the podcast and YouTube channel. And so we'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching Power and Pounders on YouTube and Facebook. You can also listen to the podcast on Anchor FM, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. God bless.